What's up guys, Razanon here. So, I'm almost done with the Modern Warfare beta, and I wanted to share my thoughts on the beta from a PC player's perspective. Basically going to be going over the good, the bad, and the ugly. This was originally going to be one video, but even after editing, it came out to like 40 minutes long. So I'm actually going to split this into 3 parts. So, this is part 1, the good things, the things I liked about the beta. And very soon, I will be releasing the things that were bad about the beta, and then the things that were fucking egregious about the beta. So stay tuned for those. But for now, let's get into the good. The first thing I like about the beta is the mounting system. I think is pretty cool. And what I like about it is that it's not overpowered at all, but it does have some usefulness. When you're mounting and you're peeking aside, for example, it feels like you're barely just peeking over and only like your torso is visible, but you're really just standing next to the piece of cover. So what that means is the downside to doing that is your entire body's available to be shot, which is a good thing. Because if you were only peeking a tiny bit, I think mounting would be really overpowered. But since your whole body is showing, it's a really big downside because it's also going to take you a few milliseconds to dismount before you can hop off the cover. And the benefit you get from mounting is that your gun basically has no recoil. So they've balanced nicely the pros and cons of mounting in such a way that it's not overpowered, but it still can be useful. I liked mounting a lot when I was using the Odin, for example, because that gun has a fuck ton of recoil. Next, I really liked the weapon aesthetic, the weapon sounds, the weapon animations. Firing the deagle is the most satisfying thing you can do in Modern Warfare. Don't at me about that. Speaking of weapons, the balance of the weapons, at least from all the ones we had access to in the beta, I think is actually pretty goddamn good. Nothing stood out as particularly overpowered or underpowered, in my opinion. I think they all have their uses. Something like an Odin would be really good in like the 10v10 if you want to play a more campy style, since it does a ton of damage but has really low mobility. The SMGs, they're all really good for like headquarters or playing really close quarters engagements. The assault rifles are pretty decent at most ranges. I thought every weapon so far was fairly well balanced. The movement, for the most part, and we'll get to what I mean later, but the movement is very fluid and nice to me. I like the sliding animation. I like the sliding responsiveness, the jumping responsiveness. The double sprint is a great addition to the game, and I think it's, again, really well balanced. Like, you get the benefit of moving super quickly, but you get the penalty of having a really slow sprint out time. So if you want to start shooting after double sprint, it's going to take you a while. And I think that's good, because you don't want people just double sprinting into you and then immediately being able to just drop shot you or something, for example. So I think the addition of double sprint and the way they've balanced it is actually really great. And finally, the gunsmith. This is no surprise to anyone. I think the gunsmith is an extremely cool addition to the game. The attachments that you could use, as far as I could tell, most of them were very impactful. So when you put on like a heavy barrel, you can really tell that your damage range got increased and your bullet velocity got increased. When you put on the stippled pistol grip, you could really tell that your draw speed got really quick. And the ability in the gunsmith to mix and match probably thousands of permutations per gun is a really fresh and cool take on customization in Call of Duty multiplayer. And I think most attachments having like pros and cons makes it an inherently balanced way to approach attachments to weapons in Call of Duty. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you hated this video, and if you disagree with everything I just said, leave me a thumbs down. If you happened to like it, a thumbs up would be very gracious of you. As I said in the beginning of this video, I will be releasing my more critical aspects of my beta impressions, the bad and the very fucking bad. or the ugly. So if you want to stay apprised on that, consider hitting that subscribe button. Beyond doing just these 2 videos in the future, I will be doing videos on everything related to Call of Duty multiplayer. So I hope you enjoyed. Please leave me a comment on whether you agree or disagree. I would love to talk about it. I will be happy to reply to you. In addition, I stream every day at twitch.tv/Razanon. You can catch me there. I am extremely interactive with my chat, so if you're able to catch me live, we can connect, talk about whatever you want. You can ask me questions. We'll get shit done. That's all for me. Stay tuned for more critical beta impressions. Have a great night, and as always, stay humble.
We're taking out.
Ah! Shit on.
Please, guys. Please, enemy team, please.
Shit on. I'm terrible, dude. He's already furious because he got killed by a claymore capping a point. When he has a teammate that's also on the point, that's totally fine. So he runs up all like happy-go-lucky, like, oh, I'll cap the point with my and then dies.
Headquarters.
And then dies to a
Defend the headquarters as they come online.
oh my god, it's so funny. And then he dies to a claim. And then his teammate shoots his... It's so fucking funny, dude. Oh my god, can you see me crying? Can you guys see me crying?
HQ is green. Get them
Holy fuck, that's funny as fuck. The visual of it. The visual of it was great too. Oops.